Hello and welcome everyone. We're really excited to be connecting with you today. My name is Jeff Belville and I'm from the Eugene, Oregon area. Today it's like 103 degrees and so I'm excited about not only the heat outside but also the heat in business that we've been experiencing and just some amazing things that we want to share with you today. We want to take the next 30-40 minutes to describe to you something that is really exciting. My wife and I have actually owned businesses for the last 10 years. We have 25 years business experience between the two of us. Some of those businesses have been traditional companies. Some of them have been home-based. And really at the end of the day, we keep an open mind about business. We believe in multiple streams of income. And so if you're tuning in today, I want you to know it's because you got a personal invitation to be on this exclusive webinar. I really only open this up to a handful of people across the country to be able to communicate this message that we are sharing with the world. And so understand that this is a really special time to be seeing this information. In fact, you could be one of the very first people in your region to even be hearing about this. It's a very exciting concept. It's something that we had prayed for years and years. And then we discovered almost by accident, it kind of got dropped in our lap. And we're just really thrilled about everything that is coming together for this project that we're launching. It's becoming one of the fastest growing opportunities in the nation, really. And so I'm just excited to connect with you. I know this is a one-sided conversation today, and I try to get past the screen as much as possible because I know this is a webinar, but I really just want to connect with you on a couple things and just share some concepts and some ideas with you that could be very powerful. My wife and I, and I'll just introduce you to my wife. She was actually featured in Prosper Magazine along with our company. I just wanted you to see her face because I think she's pretty gorgeous. So this is my wife, Catherine, featured in Prosper Magazine, really exciting. Her and I have always had a vision to help people. And so whether it was in the medical field, like with alternative health projects we've launched in the past, or she's even worked on some clinics and done real estate and restaurant and all those types of different businesses. We've always had the bottom line vision to fix realities, fund dreams, and retire families. And so I knew that after experiencing traditional business, that it was pretty much a big headache. I don't know if you've ever considered opening up your own business. 70% of people want to own their own business, yet only 14% of people do. And I think one of the reasons why that is because it's expensive. It's a massive undertaking. There's risk involved. There's a lot of overhead. There's a lot of moving parts. And so I'll usually start these webinars by asking the question, what are some reasons why people would be crazy enough to start their own business? The answers are varied, and I've seen all kinds of answers over the years as I've been sharing about business, but one of the biggest things that comes through is freedom. Most people are feeling a little bit trapped, whether in their 9-to-5 or in their income bracket. Most people are looking for ways to have more money, but more importantly, I think the thing that really rang true for me was I wanted to create money and time together, because neither one is really good without the other. And so what I look at in any business venture that I've launched or anything like that is how is it going to help people? Is it going to fix realities, fund dreams, and retire families? And if so, I'm on board. But I want you to know that we had just reached a pinnacle in our career, actually really a milestone. Last October, we actually had built teams of thousands of people, generated a really great income. We're in the top 1% of money earners in our industry. And so understand that when we saw Trinont, it wasn't at a good time. We weren't even really open. In fact, we didn't really want to look at anything else, to be honest with you. But what happened was some dear friends of mine, they've made millions of dollars in the industry. In fact, they're legends. They're in the top 100 money earners of all time in home-based business. And so when I heard that they had made a decision to change course and actually move to Trinont, I couldn't understand how someone could walk away from millions of dollars of income and truly start fresh in a company. And so I had to know. So I called them up and I hunted them down and I was like, I got to understand why you're either totally crazy or you saw something. And they said, well, hop on a plane. So I did. I hopped on the next plane out of Eugene. We flew halfway across the country and I was introduced to the owners of this company. They are amazing, amazing individuals. And I want you to just see really quickly who these guys are, why they created what they created, and how we're changing lives like nuts. It's been so much fun. So Lauren Berry actually was a founding member. He actually created the technology behind what is now TD Ameritrade. So I'm sitting behind a table with a guy who has built $1 billion companies. But then I meet Scott Bland and found out that he had been recruited by Goldman Sachs, was a top executive, land development, investments, amazing. And then you've got Russ Losey, who was a big part. He's actually launched multiple very successful startups, helped with Ancestry.com, getting that off the ground. And so these guys are traditional business people, and they created a company after 2008 to really change the course of this nation. Now, it has to do with financial education. And at first glance, I thought that sounded somewhat boring, but I will tell you that financial education was one of the things that I didn't realize, but I had become very passionate about. Why? Because as we discovered the power of home-based business, the power of being able to build a business from your phone, from home, from anywhere, that was really powerful to me, that the average everyday person could plug into something, start generating income on the side on top of what they're currently doing. And so we built these teams of thousands of people. And you know what? We would help people make thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in different industries throughout the years. And one of the things that I found was that most people, once they reached a new tax bracket, guess what they would do? They'd spend at a higher level. They'd just be broke at a higher level. And then I realized that, oh my gosh, that's what my wife and I had been doing as well. We had been increasing our income. But because we lacked the financial education, we couldn't actually feel the success. And so what I was really taken back by was that these owners of this company created a model that would actually start to change the course of a nation. So my question to you is, would you say most Americans are financially illiterate? Most people would say yes. Where would you say we get our financial education from as a country? You know, most people will say, oh, your parents, you know, or TV or the credit card companies or mistakes, right? Our financial education sector in America is in rambles, and we're seeing the side effects of that in our society around us. For instance, 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. That means if you miss this next paycheck, it's not a good situation, right? 75% of people have less than $1,000 in their accounts. That's just a crazy, crazy statistic. But then 1 in 3 people have no money saved for retirement, and you can see that most households are one paycheck away from a financial disaster, and it's because the education is not there. So these co-founders came together and they designed a company that is changing that. In fact, what they put together is so powerful. Not only is it changing the lives of tens of thousands of people across the country right now, but you're one of the very first people to see this project today. And I'm gonna save the best for last. So I know 30 minutes is a really long time. I've got ADHD too, but I want you to hear the vision of what it is we're doing, because the person who invited you knew that you're sharp, smart, good looking, positive. They brought you to the table because they know that you'll catch some kind of vision for what it is that we're launching. Now, it totally might not be for you, but the information itself has the opportunity to transform a household. And I love that what we're doing transforms lives. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into this information. We're gonna make this briefing brief, but underneath my face in the description, there's actually a link that you can press show more, and it says follow along, and you click on that link. That's gonna pull up a window or a browser that's going to allow you to follow along with me as I go through our business model. It's going to show you exactly what it is that we're creating and paint a picture that's going to transform everything, okay? So under my face in the description, click on the link after follow along here, okay? So like I said, the company started in 2008. as a traditional company. It launched in early 2014 as a networking opportunity because simply they wanted to be able to get the word out. They knew that traditional advertising methods only got them so far, but if you can create a networking opportunity for people, that can get the word out so much faster. And since their tagline is change the economy one household at a time, word of mouth is the most powerful way to do that. And we were debt-free from month one. Like, I was there sitting in front of these owners trying to find all the holes in the system, and they shared with me their 50-year game plan, the stability of the company, how there's virtually no overhead because what we're doing is in technology. I understood really quickly that this is one of the most secure, powerful foundations of any company I've experienced before, with traditional business owners who have built multi-billion-dollar companies in the past. And so security, foundation, that is perfectly secure in Trenaut, and I love it. Now, because we are a company in our youth, you're seeing this where there's only 26,000 associates across North America. So we're in Canada and the US, but you're just in the very first to see this. There are 300+ million people just in the United States alone. We haven't even scratched the surface. Chances are you've never even heard of Trenaut before this exposure, and years from now, it'll be the same. We'll still be on such a small scale compared to the general population. So what is it that we do? What we do is we automate people's financial lives using technology, tools, and resources. And the key word that I want you to follow along with is access. Most people don't have the access that the wealthy elite have, and that's changing with Trenaut. We're giving people access to the tools and the education that is going to create generational wealth for people. So how are we doing this? Well, in box 2, you'll see that we have a 3-step system. The first step is the core services that we offer. And I had been looking for the core in my life for the last 10 years, okay? Like, I'm gonna be the first to say I needed the core really badly. It was everything I had been looking for, all in one place, convenient, user-friendly, and the tools make a serious impact in people's lives. No wonder the customers the people who become a part of the core services, 85% of them stick with it because it's making a lasting difference in their life. How? Well, the first part of the core is the OneView service. This is a money management tool that is better than anything I've seen out there. In fact, it's saving our household around $1,400 a month. Let me explain how that works. When you put in your information, it aggregates your financial data all in one place so you can see at a glance where your financial life is at. And so in an instant, the last 90 days of spending shows up on the screen, which can be frightening, exhilarating, whatever it is. It's just raw information in front of people, and they will see the habits, good or bad, that are existing in their household. Did you know only 46% of Americans have a budget? That's nuts, right? So the OneView allows you to create a smart budget that can actually help you manage money at a much better rate. And we've seen this statistically. People spend 10% less when they're using the OneView product. What is that for your household? Think of your disposable income. Think about taking 10% of that and keeping it each month. What could that do for your household, right? It's about cleaning up waste. OneView is an amazing, amazing tool. You create a smart budget, you set up notifications on your phone so that you know when you're hitting limits that you've set for yourself. It's really cool, okay? So that is the first piece of the core. Second piece of the core is Trenaut Defend. What's the fastest growing crime in the nation? Identity theft. If you're not being proactive about this, you may become one of the 1 in 9 people who have their identity hijacked, which becomes an expensive and time-consuming mess. So Defend is going to actively protect your identity. And it's a $60 value, and it's higher rated than LifeLock on the Better Business Bureau because it's not just going to protect your social and your credit cards and your passport and your license. All those different pieces are actively being monitored. Now they're going to expand it to your technology, so your computer, your tablet, your phone, and then your social media accounts are going to be actively protected as well. So you will be the first to know if anything does go wrong, but you're going to be protected to prevent anything from going wrong. How many of you know that prevention is the best offensive action? I love, love, love the Defend service. Okay, so that is included in the core. The next piece of this I love is Trinont TaxBot, and then another service we offer is Trinont Tax. So I'm going to talk about these two in conjunction with each other because tax law in America is kind of confusing. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've owned businesses since I was 17 years old. I have been really good about writing things down and deducting, but over the years it's become such a heavy burden to be able to track all of these write-offs and stuff. And so I didn't realize that 84% of Americans overpay on their taxes. And did you know if you're an employee right now working for someone else, you can only deduct around 6 deductions at the end of the year? But if you're an owner, a business owner of some kind of small business, even like Trinont, you could access 130 plus deductions that allow you to keep more of your money. See, if the average household makes around $50,000 a year, that means with the average tax rate, 15,000 of that is leaving your household. And so how are you actively protecting the money that's going out of your household? Well, our tax services are going to educate you on the best ways, the most IRS compliant ways to do that. And one of the ways that we do that is through TaxBot. TaxBot is so cool because it's an app on your phone that works in the background. The whole point is automation here. So TaxBot is a fantastic resource because it's going to track automatically things that are happening in your tax life. First and foremost, as soon as you get in the car, it starts tracking your mileage. And so you can actually see the trips that I've made recently. And I don't know if you can see that. Driving around in circles here, but I just drove down to Redding, California a few days ago. That was over $100. And all I do is swipe to the right. It becomes a business expense and it adds it to the total deductions at the top of the screen. And then you can see $22,000, right? The expense category allows you to go paperless. So you're going to take pictures of receipts, save them in the cloud so you don't have to worry about keeping a paper trail or keeping track of all the stuff. It's going to have link with your bank account. And so you just take a picture of the receipt and it pairs it with the expense, and all of a sudden you swipe to the right and it's a business expense, if it is, right? And so I love, love, love TaxBot. It's the only IRS compliant tool out there that does what we do. And it's going to save the average person $300 a month. So here you have OneView saving 10%. You have the Defend being a $60 value. You have the TaxBot that's going to bring in $300 a month for you. And then you have our tax services in conjunction with that. So do you pay to have your taxes done? Most people do. And so what's great about Trinont Tax is they're going to actually, if you've been on the core for 6 months, they're going to file your basic taxes for you. That's included in the core. If you file a corporation through Trinont, they're going to do your corporate filings included in the cost of the core. That is crazy value. Plus, here's the key, you have access to an expert in tax law. That and having a CPA that you have access to anytime can make you so much money over your relationship with Trinont. I love that, okay? So that's a huge piece of it. The next piece of this in box 2 is Trinont Health. Trinont Health is a great solution. I used this a couple weeks ago when my wife was sick, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I freak out when my wife is sick. I don't even know what to do. And so honestly, what happened was I called in, got a nurse practitioner on the line. She gave me advice. I connected with a doctor face-to-face, was able to connect with them, and all of a sudden a prescription was written in no time. I didn't have to go to urgent care or the emergency room. I just was able to, let her rest. And Trinont Health gives you access to medical professionals anytime, 3 in the morning, on a weekend with kids. If your kid's sick, do you want to take them to the emergency room? No. Let's get a doctor on FaceTime. They can diagnose and treat 70% of all conditions. I love that. Okay, so that's one piece of it. Then you hop up to Trinont Legal. Trinont Legal is access to an attorney. So now you have unlimited access to good legal advice, document review. They'll do phone calls, research on your behalf. They will help you structure yourself with the least liability. And when was the last time you had an attorney on your side that didn't cost you $200-300 an hour to consult with? Well, now, thanks to Trinont, that's a reality for people. And we're using this in a variety of ways. It's saving people tremendous amounts of money. Like to have a document written up, it was gonna cost me $2,600, and I didn't really wanna spend that money there, right? Trinont Legal It was included in the cost of my core to get that written up. So understand this can add massive value. And I'll be the first to tell you that if you don't have good legal advice and counsel happening in your life, it's going to show up years from now. We have lost hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars because there was wrong advice given or no advice given in the past. And so having this being proactive for you is a really good resource. Harvard said it perfectly. They did a study and it showed the average American needs 3 hours of good legal counsel. Most people don't go get it because of cost. And now you have access. The next piece is probably the most popular part of the core. And remember, this is a briefing, so I'm scratching the surface. There's so much value in it that I didn't mention in what I just said. I want you to remember this is just a briefing, but the credit services, you guys, is nuts. Why is having excellent credit today such a good idea? You know, most people will say, oh, well, you know, because it affects everything, you know, or, you know, when you finance things, it can be expensive. And so the average American has a credit score beneath 700, and it's costing people billions of dollars a year in interest. And I didn't realize things like it affected your car insurance rates, your employability. A lot of factors go into having a good credit score. And so what are we doing to get your score, you know, where it needs to be? Well, our credit ninjas, as I call them, are going to go to work on your behalf. When I activated that service, I didn't have to do anything. They just went in and they started fixing what was wrong and then giving me strategies to build it at an exponential rate. They said, oh, because you're a male and you're 6'3" and you live in this region, this credit card is going to build your credit score 3 times faster than the one you currently have, right? They showed me things that I didn't even know existed. They showed me that if you have more than 3 addresses on your credit bureau reports, that the people living in those houses now are affecting your good credit. That's unacceptable. Make sure you get the credit team working on your behalf. Now, they'll do some advanced things as well, and I have got this fun little show and tell thing, which is like a proof book. They will go in and they will challenge everything. So oftentimes we'll see collections deleted, medical debt deleted. We had a friend of mine in Washington who had $24,000 in medical debt just deleted last month. Her score also went up 119 points in 3 weeks. Okay, public records, judgments, tax liens. We had a lady in my area who had over $560,000 of tax judgments, and those were wiped clean because of our experts at Recredit. Okay, that was a good day for her, wouldn't you agree? Bankruptcies taken care of and deleted in a few months, not 7 years. You know, public records, oh, I already said that. Student loan debt deleted, that's kind of a fun one. So just imagine what they can do for you and to position you in the perfect place. Now, if you've got excellent credit today, because I know we're speaking to a wide audience here, if you've got perfect credit, they'll even give you some, you know, some strategies to help you make money on your excellent credit, and they will share that stuff with you. It is so powerful. But the core in and of itself, when you really add it all up, all the value together, it is going to save the average household $900 a month. And I didn't think that that was like right when I first heard that, but then I activated every piece of it, and it's saving us way more than that. And so it's only going to cost you $125 a month to have access to all of those tools, experts, resources, technology. It's going to automate your financial life in a beautiful way. It's going to clean up waste. Now, what do most Americans do when they save money? They spend it. Everybody knows that answer to that question, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to show you how to free up this money in your household. Step 2 in box 2 is to move it into a wealth plan. It's to get a plan in place. I sat down with a banker who owns 5 different banks in the Seattle area, and I love this guy. He was an amazing guy. He said, I've got 25 years in the financial industry, and I said, I've been with Trinant for 10 months. And he began to tell me he loved the vision of our company because it's giving people tools that usually only the wealthy elite can access. But he said this, he asked me a question, do you want to know what percentage of people walk through the doors of my banks with a financial plan? And I'm like, I'm not sure if I do. He said 12% of people have a plan in place for the future. I was like, that is nuts. That means 82% of people are walking around, no financial plan in place. It's so nuts to me to think that most people are unprepared for retirement. Harvard did another study that only 4% of Americans will enter retirement without having to downsize. And I don't know about you, but I think of retirement, I want an upgrade, okay? So I'm telling you that this step 2 for me was really profound because I didn't realize this, but when I sat down with a wealth specialist and they went over everything in my financial life, it was an eye-opening experience. I had no idea that we were headed for a cliff and that if we didn't change some behaviors and get some things in place, that we were going to end up nowhere fast. And so they showed me a way to move waste into a plan that creates options for my future that will create retirement, but also a legacy that I can leave to my kids. Just simply by moving money around, not spending any more than I was. It's the craziest feeling to know that we are helping people get their retirement set up. How great would it feel for you to introduce people to this and know that you were a part of getting them into a plan that would eliminate stress in their future? So good. Like, I love the vision of Tranont because everything I've talked about so far is really the main mission of the company, which is to educate people on concepts and philosophies that aren't taught in education. Now, that's the first goal. The second goal is obviously to make some money. And I hope you're okay with making money. Okay, some people I talk to are like, no, I'd rather not. I don't know. I'm okay with making money. So step 3 is the first way that you can start generating income simply by referring some of these retail services that we offer. Now, we've partnered with these companies to give us the ability to be the connection. When we refer a business, like let's say business phones, solar, credit card processing, home security, any of those services, when we refer them, we get paid really well to do that. But we don't have to know anything about them. We have an app on our phone that allows you to just simply make that referral, name, phone number, email address, send. Then our experts at our retail partners are going to call those people, those potential customers, close them for you so you don't have to do any sales work at all. And guess what? In box 3, you can start out making 10% for every retail service you refer. That number increases to 35%. And I want you to know that that's a really, really big deal because industry standard is usually a max of 10% for personally referred services. I was blown away at this. Think about solar. Now you can make money on the sun. The average solar referral is $1,000 commission. Like, that's awesome, right? There's some amazing things we can do in step 3. That's not the whole point of Tranont. It's just kind of a perk. It's a cherry on top kind of thing. But you can see in this example in box 3 that by simply referring 21 services over the course of your business, and you unlock that 35%, you're making around $735 if the average account was $100 a month. That to some people is success. Because I don't know if you remember this, but when the bubble burst and the financial crisis started happening and people were losing their homes, 72% of homes could have been saved from foreclosure with an extra $400 of income. So get onto the core services. That's going to free up more than $400 for you. Refer some services. That's going to generate some hundreds of dollars for you. But that's not necessarily what Catherine, my wife, and I were looking for. We were looking for a way to replace our income very quickly. In fact, we walked away from a 6-figure income to do Tranont, so we needed to make big money. So I'm going to cater to the people listening who like that concept. If you're not a big money person, it's totally okay. Success is defined differently by everyone, and obviously, depending on the amount of activity you take in your business and work ethic and coachability, you can create whatever you want. But box 4 really captured my attention because starting a business is usually a really painful process. You got to get a business plan in place. You have to build an infrastructure. You have to pay out a ton of capital. Like, our philosophy before Tranont was pay 6 figures to make 6 figures. And if you've owned traditional business, you know that that's just how it is. But what I liked about home-based business is it gives everyone the ability to make great money. Now, to start in Tranont, it's $495, but there's a promotional price for this month of $349, and that is so crazy because that $349 to sign up today is actually just for August. But what it does is it includes your first month on the core services. And so once you sign up, you have access to all the core. We'll set up a wealth specialist appointment to introduce you to our financial products, our wealth plans. You'll have access to all the technology, the apps that they've developed, the back office, all the moving parts have been taken care of for you. So that begs the question, what do you do? All we're doing is we're sharing it with people. Do you understand that we can't change the economy with this education, with these tools, unless we share it with some people? And so we only share it with cool people, so feel really awesome for being on this webinar. But what we do is we bring people to the table, we let them see the information for what it is, and then let them decide whether or not they want to partner with us in whatever capacity that is. It's so simple. We've got tools, we've got a whole system in place for you to be able to do that. Now, Trinant's going to take what would go to advertising and give it to the people on the field promoting the business. And we have a comp plan that is unrivaled in the industry. In fact, it's the highest paying comp plan I've ever seen. And it pays out today over 70% of every dollar that comes into Trinant gets paid back out to the field. So pay attention here, because boxes 5, 6, and 7 are going to blow your mind, because if you have any expertise in the industry, you'll understand what you really have your hands on here. I've seen hundreds of business models, man. I have been pitched every lotion, potion, juice, patch, coffee, wrap thing that you wouldn't even imagine. And I have a garage full of all those things because I'm a great friend and I love supporting people in their dreams. But I knew that something like Trinant, even just for promoting the services we have in box 2, I'm making people's lives better just for them being a part of this, no matter if they make $1 in boxes 5, 6, and 7. But we're gonna make more than $1, okay? So the first step in box 5 is to help you find 3 associates. And that is pretty simple. If 85% of people are walking around paycheck to paycheck and 70% of people want to own their own business, then odds are we're gonna find a few people who are at the right time, at the right place, who jump on board with you. Once you've got your 3, now you're making $100 a month residually. And that's in box 5. So you can see, get your 3. They don't have to be blue. They can be any color. And make $100 a month. That offsets the cost of the core. Some people, that's all they're going to do. Some people really like the car bonus. The next piece of this is really fun. Now, I love Jeeps. I actually didn't like Jeeps before Trinant, but there's something about getting paid to drive a Jeep that changes the whole energy around that, okay? So we qualified for actually both of our Jeeps in 24 hours. But what was cool about that is they send me $500 a month just because we helped 12 people join the team. So once you have your 3, box 5, all we got to do is help this person get their 3, this person get their 3, and this person get their 3. And now all of a sudden, having a team of 12 for $1,200 of volume, you are now Jeep qualified, and they're gonna send you $500. We just helped this lady, Tess, a couple days ago. She got her Jeep in 5 days. It's crazy. It almost sounds insane. But some people take a few months to get it. You know, some people take a little bit longer. And some people just want to do it like my friend Alicia did it in 24 hours as well. So getting a Jeep is a fun way to eliminate a car payment. Did you know 90% of people have car payments? Do you know the average car payment? Dave Ramsey says it's $500 a month. So what would happen if we eliminated a car payment in someone's life, we took that $500 or $300 or whatever it is, and we moved it into a wealth plan? Well, that's exactly what Alicia and her husband did. They replaced 2 car payments with Trinant Jeeps. They moved that money over into our financial product, which grows your money at a ridiculous rate. Okay, we're talking about the safest, you know, there's like guarantees all over it. Like, it is the coolest way to grow your money. People like Warren Buffett grow their money like this. Mitt Romney has these plans just to balance out political systems there. But they moved this money over, and simply doing that resulted in the next 20 years, they'll be able to start drawing from that account in the tune of $330,000 of tax-free income annually. That's the power of our wealth plan. And talk to a wealth specialist. We'll get you that appointment set up if you jump on board with us. It will blow your mind. Becoming your own bank, those philosophies, we're going to teach those things, okay? So, car bonus, awesome. If you don't want the Jeep, maybe you're a Prius guy, they'll give you $250 cash to do whatever you want with, okay? Now, the next piece of this is in box 7. This is what really captured my attention. And if you're just now tuning in, you can click on the link in the Show More category and click on Follow Along to find this. I want you to zoom in on box 7 because box 7 is nuts. First and foremost, we only do business with people of integrity. And one of the things of integrity is transparency. When I first looked at box 7, I saw transparency. I saw what each position pays right there on the page. I knew that there wasn't this hype and the smoke and mirrors thing that's so rampant in the industry. We're actually changing an industry because of our transparency. So you can go from associate to CEO simply by the amount of volume that you bring to Trenaut. Now, what is volume? Volume is represented by the amount of money spent on services in your team. So that means each core service counts as $100 of volume. Get it? $100 of volume. So if I sign up in your team, my wife signs up in your team, and Frank signs up in your team, that's $300 of group volume, which is the third little column here, QGV. And you can see the easiest way to read this is to take the last two zeros off of each of these numbers, and that gives you an idea of how many people you would need on the core to get to that position. Now, before you think you've got to have 10,000, sign up 10,000 people yourself, understand that Catherine and I have only signed up 14 people personally, 14. And that has led to a team of now we have over 800 people in our group. And it's been nuts. It's been growing like wildfire. In fact, the entire company has grown over 500% in the last 12 months. And so it is growing like wildfire, but we've only signed up 14. How did we get a team of 800? Because everybody is showing this to a few people. It's not about you getting a ton of people into Trenaut. It's about making a few connections with people who either really need this, really love making money, or just smart business professionals who like having multiple streams of income. They're all around us. And so all you need to do to make a great income, let's look at 2-star SFC. All you would need to have is 200 people on your team or $20,000 of volume, okay? That's crazy. To generate a $3,500 team bonus, a $500 Jeep stipend, a $300 retirement bonus, they're gonna put that money into your wealth plan, and then a potential $2,000 bonus pool check. That means that for getting 200 people on your team, you're going to make between $5,000 and $6,300 a month in pure residual income. That's insane. Because I built a team of 5,000 people in a different place in the industry, and I was making less money with 5,000 than I was with 200. What is going on here? It's a generous company. That's what's going on here. And so you can use your imagination. When we hit 3-star SFC, it was a life-changing promotion for my family. When we're about to hit RFS, that is going to double our residual income. And so it's very simple to start growing a business that grows without you, because here's a concept in business you want to get into your life. Do you want to be the guy trading your time for money? Or the gal? Do you want to only get paid if you're spending your time working for something? Do you want someone else to determine how much your time is worth? And are you constrained by that system of linear income? If you are, join the 5% of Americans who are creating residual income. Because here's the truth about this business model. 2 days ago, end of the month, we brought in over 160 people into our Trenaut business in just a few short weeks. And the month before that, we had set a record as well. And I had signed up only just a few of those. If you create a business that grows without you, you can buy back your time and you can have money flowing into that bank account without you having to spend time getting it. That's the dream, and it's possible here. It's going to take a lot of work to get this thing off the ground, right? But the neat thing is you're going to do it surrounded by people who already know how to do this. We built teams of thousands. We're going to help you do this. We're going to lock arms with you. You're going to have multiple people lock arms with you. And we have a culture and environment that helps people win, even if they've never owned a business, never had success before. Oh gosh, gotta be careful there. And I just want you to know that we have a lot of fun doing this. You know, we're not tied to whether or not you join us, but understand this won't be the last time you hear about Trenaut, because we are starting a movement that will go from 26,000 to 100,000 to 1 million in the next year to 2 years. And you can be a part of the wave that happens before everybody around you already knows about Trenaut. That's what's crazy, is you're on the right side of this equation. And so you can look at CEO if you're really into big money. I want to know how to get to the top fast. So we just really looked at this and we said, oh, 10,000 people on a team pays $130,000 a month. I'm in. But that's because I think that way. I love a challenge. I'm a little competitive. Me and my wife are a little competitive, but some people, all the blessing in the world would be to make an extra $500-600 a month. And if that's you, we want to help you do that just as much as we want to help the guy who wants to make 130 grand a month. Okay. So final piece of this, you can actually generate income by writing our wealth plans. And so we have a sister company, Trinaut Life. You can become a licensed agent and actually be the ones writing those wealth plans and helping people get their lives in financial order. That's such a rewarding thing to be a part of, but it's very lucrative because a commission is released every time someone writes a policy. So capture this. You've got your residual coming in, but you've got all these Trinaut Life bonuses coming in, and oftentimes they're about the same. Then there's an even bigger money picture, and I'm going to share this because we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Okay, so our big money in game, this has never happened before in the industry. We're the first to do multiple things, but we're the first to create a business through Trinaut Life, a book of business that is a collection of our wealth plans, our policies. As soon as we have 150,000 policies, like many other insurance companies, what we're going to do is sell that book for 3 times its face value. So for $1.2 billion, Trinaut will sell this book of business, those 150,000 policies. It'll probably take about 3 years to get there. But once we sell that book, Trinaut's going to do what no other company has done. We're going to actually share out of that 1.2 billion, 30%. That's a $300 million bonus pool, so to speak. And you have to be licensed to be a part of this. And you also have to reach a position in Trinaut Life to be a part of this. But imagine owning 1% of that $300 million pie. That's only 1,500 policies. If your team grows like many other people's teams are growing, and maybe even the person who invited you, their team is growing, then it's totally within the realm of possibility to have an in-game big money payout just for building a Trinaut business over the next few years. This is crazy. It's never happened before. We're all freaking out excited about this. But I want you to know it's a reality. It's something that will happen, and you're invited to be a part of this. I can't remember the last time I was invited to be a part of a $300 million profit pool. So now you can officially say that you were at the right place at the right time. Trinaut is an amazing company. It's growing. It's not a perfect company. We're just getting started. But you know what? I have vision enough, kind of like Mark Zuckerberg had vision for Facebook, right? I had vision to see that this is going to change everything for people because we have relevant products that are helping people automate their financial lives. We're cleaning up waste, patching up holes in people's financial lives, and then putting it into a wealth plan that gets them on the right track. We're making income based off of the services that are being sold and used every single month. And that volume has an 85% retention rate because people are getting true value from what it is that we're doing. And to finish it all off, we have an end game. And the ability to make multiple different streams of income within your Trinaut income is such a cool thing, you guys. So final part of this is we do it 100% together. So we are a team. We have all the training and resources online. You can build this business from anywhere in the world on your phone. We're going to show you the trade secrets we've learned over the last 10 years to leverage principles and strategies to generate a 6-figure income in the industry. It's possible for you to do this and win. No matter who you are, where you've been, anything's possible. When I started out in the industry, I knew nothing, and I was pretty terrible at a lot of things, but I failed forward, and I recognized that if I just followed the successful people and the people who had bank accounts the size that I wanted mine to be, then I would eventually arrive at the shores of success. And so we would love for you to join our team. In fact, getting started right now for $349 is like a Costco trip, right? But it could potentially be the best $350 investment you've ever made. I don't even consider it to be an investment because usually investments are 6 figures. But understand that this is actually something that could, what if half of what I said is true, right? Like, that's what I was thinking when I sat down with the owners. I'm like, gosh, what if half of what they said is true? We're gonna kill it. This thing is crazy. We are having so much fun. We're experiencing the greatest growth in business my wife and I have ever seen. And so you jump on board with us, we're going to help you. We're going to show you our system, and we can build this from wherever you're at. And I'll close with this question. Are you where you want to be at in your financial life? And do you have a plan in place to get you into a new place 5 years from now? And if you are still trading your time for dollars 5 years, 10 years down the road, would it be worth spending just a little energy on a side project that could result in a lot of freedom down the road? Could having an extra stream of income protect you when the economy shifts again? And if you answered yes to any of those questions, we'd love to show you how to get started. It takes 5 minutes online to get your associate ID number, and then we're off to the races. We're going to help you get Jeep qualified in 5 days if you want to. But thank you guys so much for spending a part of your Wednesday evening with me. I call it an honor and a privilege to share information that can truly make the difference for people. So have a great rest of your evening. I was glad to spend it with you. God bless.